Some didn't think it would happen. Some knew it would happen, but didn't want it to occur. But, ladies and gentlemen, I have finally done it. All 8 episodes of Hazbin Hotel have been viewed, reviewed, ranked, and recapped for your viewing and or listening pleasure. This was the, well, as I said in the first video, undertaking of a lifetime. This was difficult. It was hard, mostly because editing a video of this length, which mind you, this is 2 hours, and you might say, well, you edited worse. There's that Resident Evil 7 video. The difference is in that Resident Evil 7 video, I didn't fully sit down, lock in, and do a bunch of edits for every little thing that happened except for in the beginning segment. In this video, there is cuts and edits every 10 seconds. Not to mention, this was watching every episode, rewatching every episode for the script, as well as writing down every time there was a curse word in this show. On top of that, there was also the sitting down and editing all this together after doing a full-length voiceover as well. And it's just a lot. It's a lot, man. Oh my god. It was a lot of stuff, but it's finally done. This is the first time I've ever done a video essay, ever, actually. And I would say I'm kind of proud that I made it this far. I'm glad I didn't give up on it because, well, as much as I really wanted to, I saw it out too far and I wanted to just, get it done with, get it over with, and just suck it up and do it. And that's what I did. I hope you all do enjoy these last 4 episodes. Some might ask, why didn't I compile them into one big video? That is because at some point I want to do Hazbin Hotel, not Hazbin Hotel, Hell of a Boss, and combine them all into one big, Vivzy Pop cinematic universe video where I just do all of it in one go. And then season 2 comes out literally in a few days, so I would have to redo the whole video anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. But anyway, I hope you all do enjoy, and yeah, I'm out of here. Peace. So this episode starts with Charlie losing her mind for the 5th episode in a row. Just like in every episode, she's trying to figure out why the hotel isn't working, which I could give you many reasons why the hotel isn't working, but we're not going to talk about that. But Maggie suggests that maybe she should ask, her dad, Lucifer, for help. And her response is, no, I won't back down. I'm sorry, that was cringe to me. I'll let that happen again. But instead, she caves and does it anyway because, she's like, man, he's the one who started this purging of our land. I wonder why. Half of y'all just, are terrible people. You know what? No. Upon finishing the episode 4 recap, Charlie is a terrible person. Like, not in the way that antagonists are, or like someone I just hate is, but just like, she's not good at her job in the slightest. Like, at all. Like, it truly baffles me. Like, I think episode 3 is a good example, but I'm not, no, this is not the video. Not the video. I'm talking about episode 5. That's end of season talk. Let's move on. But she goes to go talk with Alistair. I almost said Lester. She goes to go talk to Lucifer about this ordeal because maybe instead of talking to Adam, she could talk to a higher up that will actually listen to them. Good thinking. Also, in editing, I noticed that she has 3 of the Egg Boys numbers in her phone. That's Riz. They must be a subscriber to the channel. Yeah, we move like that sometimes. But then we transition to a scene of this random dude just stroking it. And by that, I mean making a duck toy that shoots fire and does backflips. So we find out, this is his entire life. He does this when he's not doing anything else, like, I don't know, ruling hell. Like, you know what? I'm trying to think, he just doesn't do his job. Like, isn't he? Hold on. No. I have a lot of questions. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I should probably say it for the end of the episode, but I'm gonna do this now. What is his job? Like, I understand he has, like, a connection with heaven and all that, but, like, what is his role? He's not an overlord, as shown by him not showing up to the meeting, and them not really, you know, him not knowing that angels can be killed, I don't think. But what is his job? What does he do? What is his purpose? I'm lost. I'm sure somebody down in the comments will be able to tell me like a full 10-page scripture on what his position and role in hell is, but I'm just not buying. I think he's a fraud. I think it's a fraud. But anyway, he starts geeking and jumping for joy the second Charlie calls his phone, which, I mean, you could always just call her. Like, you know what? Never mind. It's none of my business. You know, you want to have a conversation with her, you can always just do that. But in this scene, we find out that it's been 5 months since Charlie has called him. Which, mind you, that was episode 1. Which means she's been doing this for 5 months and has only gotten 1 guest in the building. And he doesn't even really want to be there. He's only there because y'all threatened to kill him a few episodes ago. It was either that or he's getting slimed out. And, like, even then, like, he's not really... Never mind. Nope, never mind. I just remembered something and it... Oh, boy. When I tell you, when I get to the end of this show, the long list of just things that I'm going to be ranting about is gonna be crazy. I don't want to rant the entire video though. I'm actually gonna like focus on the episode now. Like I'm locked in. All right, you ready? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So yeah, they have a conversation, you know, about this hotel and saying, hey, you know, can I talk to people in heaven? He says, no. No, because mind you, you let this happen. Technically, like we wouldn't have this issue if you didn't go up there and do all this. You know, you're scaring the huzz. But instead, she invites him to the hotel to see what they've been working on, maybe to convince him. And once again, starts jumping for joy. And when he could go there whenever he wants to, I mean, I don't get it. I just don't. Is this like a Adam thing where he just doesn't want to go to hell because it's terrible, even though this is his creation? But upon his arrival, he doesn't seem too impressed, but he notices the bar, you know, being a little off. You know? Because once again, if you're trying to stay away, you know, all the sins variety of a bar in your restaurant, I mean, I probably should really stop thinking about things and just move on with my day on. But whatever. He meets Alistair, which I thought they would know each other because once again, they're overlords. Like, this is a plot hole, but, you know, Adam doesn't know him. Actually, he knows Adam. And Adam knows Alistair, I think. I don't know, but Lucifer doesn't know Alistair at all. But this episode's whole conflict is Alistair and Lucifer because Lucifer is her dad, but Alistair is more of a father figure to her than her own father. So basically, my theory is that this is my headcanon, okay? Because this episode goes in one way, but I think there's an ulterior motive from Alistair. I think he's a rage baiter. I think he rage baits Lucifer into being a better father, which is absolutely crazy. Remember, that's me. Once again, I don't know. I just watched the episode, you know. Yeah. Now, tell me why this was the episode that had me figure out that Vaggie and Charlie were dating. Like, I mentioned it in the video, like, a lot, maybe, but, like, in script writing, I didn't know that they were dating until this episode, when they, like, officially go, this is my girlfriend. But Husk is rating Oro this entire episode, just so you know, before we get to the first song of the episode, which I thought was pretty okay. It fits his vibe, you know, Alistair's vibe. Why did I write that down? Husk isn't even in the song. It fits Lucifer's vibe, and Alistair's voice makes the song even better. And don't even get me started on the visuals again, they look really nice. But it's called Hellsbeth. I'm reading it. I'm reading it. How did I... You know what? Can I hire someone? You the viewer. If you have a good voice and you can read, hit me up. I'll pay you $20 to read the end of this, to read the next episode. Please and thank you. Anyway, it's called Hell's Greatest Dad, and it gets an 8 out of 10 from me. But we get this random lady whose name is Mimsy, and she's awful. She's like that friend you have who never talks to you until they need something. Spoiler, by the way. But Alistair and Charlie go to finish the tour with Lucifer, and Mimsy goes to harass literally everybody. Husk being the main culprit, since they apparently know each other. She also knows Nifty, but, you know, she's currently still having a war raging on with bugs. I don't know. I don't know. Like, she's like the only character that has like no plot, no character arcs, no nothing. She's just there. Yeah, that's cool, bro. But anyway, we get Alistair lore, basically saying that he knocked off some overlords, some big overlords, like top of the game. Apparently, he's like, you know, a subtle demon. You know, he's like when you whip out the, you know, like, you know, you're unsuspecting. He's like a, what's the word? Wolf in sheep's clothing. Is that the phrase I'd use for that? I don't know. But that's all you really get to know. But Hush takes his lead to go talk to Alistair about Mimsy and how she's only here to cause issues, and he kind of is like, hey, nah, don't you tell me what to do, boy. I know what to do, boy. Don't tell me how to live my life, boy. You do that again, I will touch you inappropriately in the bedroom, boy. Yeah, but you know, this is the only time we see Husk's aura. But you know, it's crazy. And this is the last episode this is mentioned, by the way. Nope, we never get another scene of Husk trying to upstand to Alistair. Ever again. Crazy. But we get to see which made you really think that Alistair is rage baiting. So Lucifer locks in. He tells Charlie that her idea sucks because all sinners are just shitty and hell has rules that they don't think any of these guys will follow. Which, no, next episode, right? Yeah, next episode. Yep. Not to mention they aren't open-minded, plus they have free will and did all of this, so yeah. They ain't going up top, by the way. And right on cue, the people Mimsy pissed off are at the door. She took 50 grand, stole a car, crashed it into the guy that she stole 50 grands from. That is demon behavior. That's not something you do and you just like, that's prime example. You take 50 grand out of a loan, you steal a car, what are you doing with the 50 grand then? If you're stealing the car, by the way. Like, that's crazy. And then you run over the guy's girlfriend who gave you the 50 grand. Crazy. So while the hotel is being destroyed, Lucifer is ripping in the fact that everyone in hell is terrible. As you can see by her, she's the prime example. And while her second dad, Alistair, goes outside to take care of it. So after listening to her dad, listening to her dad keep talking. Oh, listening. I can't spell. He's talking about how fucked up hell is. She tells him that Alistair is doing more for this hotel than he's ever done in his life. Like, he's actually an elf father, you know. Yeah, you're terrible. I hate you. You know, this is why we don't call. You make ducks for a living. No hopes, no life, no daughter, no mother. I hate you. But before we get to the song, Alistair kicks Mimsy out since she knowingly brought danger to the hotel and he can't have this here. So yeah, she's just gone. That's her entire arc. We never see her again. Anyway, we get to our second song that I don't like since it isn't my cup of tea, but let's just say this. Jeremy Jordan, the voice of Lucifer, can sing. It's called More Than Anything. I give it a 7. His vocals are the only good part of the song. But it's basically him talking about how he was sent to hell for his free thinking and blah blah blah, all stuff at the beginning of the story. He doesn't want to hurt her. Yeah. I'm skipping all this. But the episode ends on that note. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention this. Yeah, she gets him a meeting with Heaven. Why do I keep saying she gets him a meeting? He gives her a meeting to Heaven, so yeah. But I'm gonna be honest. I gave this episode an A tier. I'm giving it like a bottom B. I don't think I like this episode. like it's crazy, right? Because like I made this entire like spiel about how the show should always go with one plot line and you know how they don't have time for two, but I didn't like it. It's just nothing. It's a whole lot of nothing. You know, it's kind of just mid. Especially because, like, you could just kind of tell where the episode's going. And Lucifer knowingly being the horrible person he is. You know? And, like, it goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. It's just one big episode trying to convince him to do something. It's like it's something that you would see in a SpongeBob episode. But yeah. Also, I did want to point out that Angel, this entire episode, did not ride us meat. I thought that was amazing riding. That's the amazing ride I'm looking for. Sorry, this episode review was short. I just did, like I said, I didn't like it that much. So I just wanted to speed through, get it over with, you know, get to the good stuff, you know, the good episodes. So, you know, we could get on to better and better things. I don't even have the curse word count written on this one, so I'm not going to keep doing it. I'll probably put it in on editing right on screen, if you care. But yeah, let's move on to episode 6, where all of my grievances come to a head, I think. I don't know. I just like saying that word. It's a funny word. Alright, this episode starts where the last one left off, where Charlie packing a bag to go to heaven for a few hours. I know she says a day, but they stay for like a few hours at most, and she packs like a full-on bag of like you'd be there for like a week. That just must be a woman thing, I think. I don't know. But while she's super excited, Vaggie isn't. Alright. Well, yeah. Listen, all I'm gonna say is the reason she isn't is going to lead into probably the worst, and I mean the worst plotline you will ever see on God's green earth. It is the reason why some of these episodes suck, and it's the reason why I'm really going to start hating Charlie. But we're not there yet. Let's just stop the foreshadowing. Let's just get into this episode. But you'll also notice in this episode they are way more lovey and close to each other this episode, and it's for a reason. No, it's not because I didn't correctly predict that they were dating. That's not true. It's not true, okay? It's not because they don't act like this throughout the entire show, right? They don't do that. I think I would notice that. I think I would. Anyway. But on the other side, Angel just got off of work and wants to sleep, you know, after being power drive for 8 hours, you know, you need some rest. You need some R&R. However, the R gets blown up for, I think, the 80th time in this show, which I wish I kind of did instead of this curse word. Stupid. But it's Cherry Bomb, and she's here for Angel. She is actually in the pilot. So is the rivalry between Sword Princess and her, which I was gonna mention later, but I'm missing it now. Really, just say no. I'm not covering the pilot. I'm already done with the video. You can't make me cover something I don't want to cover, and I don't even. You probably see the pilot like 30 times. It's been out longer than the show has. It probably has been out longer than this show's runtime. Like, it's crazy. Stupid. It's goof. But anyway, she has an Australian accent, which makes me hate her more, because then she, within the 5 seconds of her screen time, she adds a count of 5 to my word count. Crazy. Like I said, crazy. But Charlie then forces Cherry to take everyone in the hotel out for some fun, while Vaggie and her go to heaven. So, yeah, very responsible choices here. Surely nothing bad will come of this. But Vaggie and Charlie are now in heaven, and before they're kicked out, with probably the funniest scene I've seen in a minute, we get to meet the two seraphim, Sarah and Emily. And I want to say they're mother and daughter, but I lost the ability to judge things like this ever since episode 5, so we just won't talk about it. And soon after, we get into our first song, being Welcome to Heaven. It's short, but I think it's alright, solid 7, but I feel like the full song, if that isn't it, it might be better. I don't know. I'm not going to go look for it. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to do that. I'm not a researcher. I'm just the reader, the writer, and the watcher, the observer, even. But anyway, what happens after this point is strange. And I don't know if this was in the pilot, but it kind of, you know... Actually, never mind. I'm not going to do it, because I think I wrote this in here. And I forgot about it. But we're going to leave it be. So Charlie leaves to explore heaven and leaves Vaggie by herself in the room. And the entire time she's talking with her, you can tell she doesn't like heaven at all. And we find out why when there's a knock at the door from Adam and Luke. And it's also found out that Vaggie used to be an exorcist until she didn't kill this little kid. And we watch as she gets her eye cut out and her wings ripped off. So in order for them to keep this secret, Adam wants her to join them, you know, against Charlie. So, you know, Charlie loses, but... this is just annoying. Okay, so, like, I'm gonna bring my first gripe up with this, like, whole plot point. It's dumb, and it gets dumber as, like, you know, the show progresses. But, firstly, right? If she's an ex-exorcist, right? Which means that she used to kill demons all the time, right? wouldn't that mean that if she were to defend Charlie, whether it come out, like, let's say she defends Charlie, and she's able to come out, wouldn't that mean her word means more than anybody in the room? Because that means that after, like, think about it like this. There was an example put in the video, but I'm gonna twist this example. Imagine Vaggie is an ex-Nazi. You might think I'm going in a crazy direction here, but you need to hear me out. Imagine Vaggie is an ex-Nazi, is rolling through the streets of a random like Jewish town. I'm not gonna go look up one. This is not supposed to be lore accurate. This is supposed to be a bit. I'm not fully comparing the fucking, what was it? Was there even the Holocaust? I'm dumb as fuck. That's what I said, dude. It took me a minute. Okay, yeah, I'm not comparing the Holocaust to these exorcist things. Okay, that would be very dumb of me. So I'm gonna loosely do it. Imagine Vaggie's like an ex-Nazi. She's rolling through a random Jewish town, slaughtering the Jewish population. And then she sees a little kid, and she doesn't want to kill him. So then, you know, Adolf Hitler's second-hand man rocks her in the alley, starts jumping her. And then, you know, leaves her out there to bleed out and or to die. And then he hits her with the Star of David of Doom and Despair. And then Charlie comes over and says, "Hey, gang, I see you're in trouble. Don't worry, I'm here to help you," and all that. And then throughout her years of being with these people, she finds out, hey, these guys aren't so bad. Maybe they could be redeemed. Wouldn't that just make her word even better? Because she actually has first-hand experience with them after being kicked out of this group. I feel like the only reason that they won it is because they're corrupt, which I mean, obviously, that's the only real answer that can be, right? There cannot be no logical answer to them not really taking her side, because, spoiler, yeah, no, they don't, and I'll get to that at the end of the episode, because it's really dumb the way they go about this, and it gets dumber. It gets dumber, but I'm not here to talk about this yet. Dude, this guy is outside with his weed whacker. I literally didn't want to record yet because I was like, man, he's out there going crazy at 5 in the afternoon with his weed whacker. And I was like, you know, I'll hold off. And then he stopped for like a good 10 minutes, and now he's back at it again. The trial is about the hotel and seeing if it turns sinners into people worth being redeemed. Obviously, Adam isn't having it, but when the question on how you get into heaven is asked, everyone kind of doesn't know. You know? And then Adam, you know, tries to, like, you know, pull this grand scheme of taking a piece of paper, writing down, if you act selfless, don't steal, and stick it to the man, you should be in heaven. Alright, cool. So, Charlie says, hey, I have somebody that can prove all those things because he's redeemed. Angel Dust. And I'll say this right now, I wrote this in the script, and I do think I agree, especially with what they pull up at the end of the episode. Not the episode, the show. Why didn't they choose Serpentius? Like, I get Angel Dust because you've known him longer, I guess, but Serpentius literally throughout this entire episode just kind of exists. And I'll be honest, maybe there's like a plot point I missed, but he kind of is like a W-Mans in this episode, sorta, you know? And Angel is just Angel, right? Like, no offense to Angel, but like, that's probably the worst person you could have picked, in my opinion. What do I know? I'm just here to write and read script, you know? But they're all at this club, and there's a bit that I thought was really funny, and it's kind of the reason that I said he should have been picked instead. So Serpentius has this thing for Cherry, but he's a shy guy, so in his attempts to do anything nice for her, he claims his reason is because he's doing it for literally everybody else. For example, when he wants to buy her a drink, he kind of chickens out when she asks why would she ever take a drink from him, and he says because he's buying everyone a drink. But on top of all of this, Angel hates his life, you know, because once again, no PTO, no nothing ever since Charlie. Cherry eludes him with the thought of hardcore drugs, my favorite. But Hudson tries to talk him out of it, but after taking a shot that Serpentius bought for them, he says he's gonna do it anyway. And you wonder why. You wonder where the writing went wrong. Right here, this scene right here, crazy. So Angel's told now everyone is piling on Charlie, and when Adam has Vaggie, you know, what's the situation, she just leaves. She just gets up out of a chair and walks out, and I'm like, yeah, cool, bro. Yeah, you're a W pal, W friend, and all that, you know. Like, I get, you know, when your secret revealed, but you have your secret revealed would be kind of fire, I guess. But anyway, Charlie tells him to keep watching him because she knows he's better than he's acting, so they just oblige. And, you know, I hate this for a reason we'll get to later. But this time we see a group on Glass 200. Oh, we see the group at Glass 200. But Angel stops Nifty from drinking more since Sally says she shows by the seashore. But Angel stops Nifty from drinking more since she is, as she says, 10 pounds soaking wet and basically a lightweight, you know. One drink would put you in the gutter, some might say. Then Nifty, as the resident housekeeper, is trying to keep the bar clean. So, as she steals full glass of alcohol from people, Angel stops her and pays the guys so they can buy more drinks. She then starts raiding a janitor's closet, and then Angel stops her again. And this last part of the bit comes when Mr. Snake is trying to have sex with Sherry, and she asks why would she ever do that, and he says because he's having sex with everyone. And then, you know, we watch as he gets dragged into a room with 7 grown men and is just assaulted. It's crazy. This is never brought up again, by the way. This just happens to him. Yeah. Okay. You know, this is the guy, by the way. You know, like this is W man's work, I guess. But anyway, the Angel's Day couldn't get worse. Nifty, full sprints at Val, who just happens to be in this bar as well. Like, does bro not have like anything better to do with his day? Like, why he always gotta be like following people around? But then Val, and probably the most disgusting move I've seen. Like, I don't really like Val, to be fair, but like this is gross. He tries to recruit Nifty, and you know he's like a porn star. If you were there for the last video, we're boxing, by the way. But you know, yeah, he's like a full-on like porn director / star, and you know, trying to recruit someone who looks like they're 5 at most is weird. But Angel, being on that time, says, hey, you might own me, but you don't own anyone else, and it's only at the studio, so like, you know, you should you know, kick the bucket or something like that. But then Angel gets hit so hard he loses 30 of the chromosomes left in his brain. But you know, he really doesn't care. And then Angel tells Cherry, hey, you could join us at the hotel for some reason. I don't know, it's just randomly put in there. But she says no, and then she goes to go fuck the first guy she sees. And as she does, Mr. Snake, who has had all of his holes used, watches as she walks into a room with another guy. So yeah. Charlie basically proved all the points on the list because he did do all of them. But then Mad Max, if he is redeemed, why isn't he in heaven? But then Emily, you know, kind of like any other, you know, viewer of this episode, asks again, why isn't he in heaven if he just did all the things on that list? And then in probably the craziest plot twist you've never seen coming before. Like, this one caught me off guard. Like, I actually slipped and fell out of my chair seeing this plot twist. No one in this room knows what gets you qualified in heaven. Not a soul. No one. They just kind of, you know, make it up. You know? That's not a lie, by the way. They just kind of make this up. I'm not gonna hold you. But we get this next song called You Didn't Know. Because, yeah, this song kind of reveals to everybody that there is exterminations happening in hell, and, you know, that's no bueno. No bueno, and Emily's very sad about that. But then it comes out that Vaggie is an exterminator, and, you know, yeah, I give the song a 6, because it does kind of reprieve Hell is Forever at the end. And that's, like, kind of the only good part. But then Sarah says they don't have any evidence that sinners can be redeemed, and Adam says they're coming for the hotel first, and that's when the episode ends. Yeah. So, initially I was gonna give this episode an S, but, there was a few things I rewatched that stuck to me, which made me move it from an A to then a B. The first thing kind of being is Vaggie's whole exorcist plot is dumb, because not only does it go nowhere, but it just kind of ruins a certain person's character. I think I've already said it before, but you'll see next episode, because not gonna do it. But yeah, no, exorcist plotline, it kind of sucks, it's dumb, and I already explained before how it really wouldn't matter. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like, there's no real, like, you could go over and say episode 3 was that example that maybe she would have been, but it could have been anything. It could have been anything. It could have been, like, abuse from your dad. You could have been, like, in the war before you died. But it's just out of nowhere. And it's the only time it's brought up. There were 5 episodes before this. And it's only ever brought up in 1. It's dumb. It's dumb. But I'll explain it more in another episode. Like, probably at the end of the video. how this could have been improved, maybe. But anyway. And I really hated the court scene. Not really though, not really though, because if I really hated it, I would have moved it down by like a lot. But the thing I hate about the court scene the most is because the entire scene is to kind of show that Charlie may or may not have the hotel down packed and ready to go, and they kind of do prove all the points of, hey, the Angel is practically redeemed, but he doesn't get sent to heaven, which we'll get to that in the last episode, because it's, oh my god, it's so dumb and fucking, whoever's in the writing room must have been on heading when they wrote this shit. It's crazy. But yeah, the only reason they really don't believe them is either A, this courtroom is corrupt, or B, because Angel isn't immediately teleported up into heaven. Because this is proof enough. He wrote it on a piece of paper. Angel performed it. There we go. It's dumb. It's dumb. So yep, I'm giving it a B. A flippin' dippin' B. Yeah. Anyway, move on to the next episode. Alright, so I usually don't like to spoil my rankings for the episode before I start them, except for episode 4. I kind of spoiled it beforehand. But I'm going to spoil this episode because this might be the longest recapping of an episode I go in depth on. Because when I tell you this might be the worst episode in the entire show, I mean it. I stand by it. This might be the worst episode in the show. And at first it wasn't going to be. Like, this episode's so bad, I moved this to F and I moved episode 3 up. And I'll get to that at the ending of the episode when I'm done with it. But let's just get into it and I'll tell you why I don't like this episode. So this episode, like the last, picks up right where the last left off. The sausage drop that Vaggie is an angel, but no one really cares, like, at all. They're more concerned about how Charlie, for the second time in a row, has fucked all of them. Like, seriously, first, that's for later, But anyway, speaking of her, we get to see where she is in her room, crying. And Alistair is, harassing her, as he should. W. Mans, love that out of him, get this guy an Emmy. But, she's really upset because, yeah, she just is. A lot of stuff happened. She is dooming the whole hotel to die, and she found out her girlfriend is an angel. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But then Alistair says, hey, let me make you a deal. Yeah, let me make you a deal. I will help you get out of this whole debacle, as in I will help you fight off the angel regime. But in return, you do me one little bitty itty favor. And then Charlie hits him with the, well, Alistair, I'll do you this favor. However, I don't want to hurt anybody. And Alistair hits him with the, oh, don't worry. That won't happen at all, princess. And she shakes his hand, daps him up, and that's when Vaggie walks in on them. And this is why I hate this plot line. But, let me just run this scene by you, Let me just run this scene by you. With the context of Charlie tells Vaggie that it turns out that Carmilla has killed Angel before, which Vaggie didn't know. So then Charlie saying this.
Mass extermination. She knows how they can be harmed.
But I didn't even know that was possible.
If you did, would you have told me?
Charlie.
Like, I don't know why she's acting like this. Like, why the hell would she tell you this? Not only does it not matter because she's in hell, but it wouldn't change anything. We later found out about something that I really want to talk about. So Vaggie lets the gang know that they're going to be fighting the angels. She finds out that Sir Pentious and Frank knew about the whole, Carmilla killing the angel thing for months, but it's mostly because of this scene right here. It's actually so funny.
Are you fucking high?
They can be killed.
Yeah, that knife lady, Camaro car fight, killed one.
Wait, you knew about this?
Oh, yeah. I told Boss about it months ago.
He what?
What? They say insane shit all the time. How was I supposed to know this one was true?
Bank accounts are a scam created by the shadow government.
See?
Dude, my phone on about the charts. I'm busy. I am busy. So now Vaggie then says that she can't assure the safety of any of the people here. So they want to leave, they can. Which, yeah, obviously spoiler, they don't leave. feel like he didn't really need me to tell you that. It's common sense. This show has no stakes, man. Alright, let's just get this out of the way. The show has no stakes. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Nothing at all. But now we're back with Charlie, who was annoying Alistair with her drama that I feel like if you didn't tell her everything about you, ever, she would stab you and kill you to sleep. But now we're in Cannibal Town, so I can stop wanting to rip my fucking ears out of my head. Like, Christ, she actually, like, in this episode is the worst she's ever been, and it's... Oh my god, it's annoying. It's annoying. I hate her, but, you know, it gets worse. We then meet with Rosie, and her main purpose is to help with the defense by offering her people. And I will say, there's something I pick up at the end of this episode review, but I'm bringing it up now. I really wish that this show brought in more parts of hell. Like, that's kind of what Hell of a Boss does that sometimes, where it will, like, show you random parts of hell that you just wouldn't see that are just well-designed world. And this is the only time, aside from the Overlords, where we get to see another part of hell that, you know, isn't just, like, the streets of Detroit, Michigan. So, you know, because this next plot that I'm going to talk about is kind of dumb and super easy to run through, and I want to rant about it, I'm going to explain it all right here, right now. So, Vaggie rolls up on Carmilla, and she doesn't want to get involved at all, but she tells Vaggie how to fight them and what she used to kill the one angel. She says that she used angelic steel, which is what all the angels used to kill the sinners/demons, and apparently no one, not a soul, not even Adam or Luke, or the 4 people that watched this one angel die, knew that angelic steel kills people. And you might be wondering, oh, well, Sam, what do you mean they don't know? Watch the next episode. Watch the next episode. And it's even brought up here is that the reason that it's so easy to kill them is because they don't wear armor. They don't protect themselves because they know that they're all defenseless and they're going to lose. And instead, because they don't say something, I get it, like, right? Like, they don't say it because they don't want to get everyone worried about, oh, we can lose this. But still, you could at least better suit up. Like, damn. And there's no way, throughout all these exterminations, nobody's picked up one of the many blades left inside of somebody and used them to fight back. Right? Like, I can't be crazy for thinking that, right? But then, you know, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's really dumb. I was gonna explain it all in the next episode, which, spoiler again, they lose the War in the last episode. There wouldn't be a season 2 if they didn't, which I'll get to the season 2 here in a second. It gets dumb. But yes, I'm telling you this now purely because, once again, this show has no stakes. It's just proven it has no stakes. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's goofy. And it gets even worse when you find out that Carmilla this entire time is a arms dealer and has been doing this shit since day 1. She has had access to angelic steel that she claims to be quote-unquote rare this entire time, but just never does anything with it. She just lets everyone get slimed. It's so dumb. It's dumb. It's stupid. Like, she knew this the entire time and didn't think to help at all. And I get it. Not when it's our war. Okay, cool. That's fine. That's kosher. But if you had access to this much, you could have won. And it's proven that they could have won. It's so free. Half of the demons that live down here are literal gods. It's insane. But whatever. That's why I wanted to talk about it. It's dumb. It's short. There's a song called Out for Love, and I don't care. I don't. It gets a 5. Let's move on. But while this goes on, Charlie is trying to rile up the cannibals to help her with this defense, but she tweaks out when this old lady named Susan, because they couldn't find any better way to have conflict in Charlie's plot, except for making a 7-year-old lady talk like a 16-year-old. But, yo, Charlie actually crashes out, and it's actually really funny. She just tweaks out. But then they have a one-on-one with Rosie, and this entire conversation is why I hate this stupid plot between, you know, Charlie and Vaggie. And I'm gonna rip into Charlie's character here for a second, because it's dumb. So, Charlie says that even though Vaggie supported her, and we see she obviously loves her, she thinks she's a liar, since she did the one thing they're trying to stop. And I recorded this at like 3 a.m. last night. I did another voiceover, but I redid it purely so then I could talk about what has Charlie done for the hotel. Like, actually, like, when I sat down and thought about this morning, I realized Vaggie has done way more for this hotel and the upbringing for it than Charlie has. And it's why I hate Charlie as a character, is because she does all of this. And let's roll back. Episode 1. Vaggie is the one who goes over and redoes the commercial that Charlie hired who hires Alistair to do it, who knew he wasn't gonna do it right. He knew he wasn't. And then Vaggie spends all day fighting with the D1 mentally ill residents of this hotel to record another commercial. And what is Charlie doing? Getting them a 6-month sentence into the death and demise. Like, hello? Nothing really happens in episode 3. I'm not gonna talk about episode 2. And then episode 3, Vaggie is the one pushing the group to, get their shit together because the purge is coming. She doesn't want them to die. But Charlie is acting like this is just, sunset and rainbows. We will win, guys, we'll win. It's why I'm so upset about this. And then in episode 5, no, not episode 5, episode 4, Charlie literally gets Angel Dust beat the fuck up, like actually assaulted and fucking like straight up pile drived for about 12 hours straight. And Vaggie, as much as she made me upset in an episode, she doesn't have a lot of time to do anything annoying. She's only doing what she sees right in the moment, so I will give her that. She doesn't know about Charlie being a D1 dickhead. She only sees Husk being who he usually is, so okay, I will lightly excuse her for that purely because I don't like Charlie. And then in the previous episode 5, not the previous one I guess, but yeah, in episode 5, Vaggie has to be the one to tell, like, not Angel, Charlie, that hey, you should call your dad the second coming of hell to help us in this endeavor so things can go better, right? Like, understandably, there's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't. He's an L altogether. But Christ on a Christmas tree. It could have been that hard, especially because she proves it's not that hard. Obviously, it's not that thing that he hates her or something. No, he was happy to get this phone call. Oh my god. But yeah, like I said, literally, I don't know if it's because this show is written in a way that just makes me upset, but Charlie does, like, nothing throughout the entire show. And she's getting mad at Vaggie, the one who really doesn't do anything wrong. Like, I was gonna say this for the ending, but I'm gonna put it right here. It would have been way different if Vaggie was in, like, behind, like an inside spy, a sleeper agent or some shit, and slowly but surely was like, oh, I don't want to do this to these guys. And when they got to the court scene, they're all like, oh shit, you're our spy. And then, like, they caught her like that. Or if she was sneaking demons in the background for their sake, and she got caught. But this is she was kicked out of heaven, spent years growing to love these people, and is nothing but nice to her, and does Charlie's job better than she does, and is still treated like a piece of shit for something that isn't even her fault. It's not like she chose to go to heaven and do all that. Like, and that's another thing. She didn't choose to be an exorcist, really. She didn't know she'd be put in this predicament. It's so dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. Is it dumb? But yeah. Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. But then we get our second song of the episode called Ready for This, and it isn't bad, just not my cup of tea. It gets a 7. And no, I'm not going in depth on it. Like I said, I don't care. The song's peaked at episode 4. That's where it dropped off at. But the episode pretty much ends with Charlie rallying the cannibals, and she returns to the hotel, makes up with Vaggie, and the episode ends. Now I'm wondering, Sam, what's that moving going? You know, that moving. I'm putting this in F, and I'm moving episode 3 up to a D. Because I didn't think anything could be worse than episode 3. Until I watched this episode. At first, this was going to be in D. This was going to be the D tier episode. But when I really sat down and thought about it, this episode is a whole lot of nothing. It's not even entertaining. Like, episode 3, sure, it's bad. But at least there's some funny moments in it. At least there's some funny things happening. The hotel plot is meh, but at least there's a good, like, a hotel plot. I actually, it's crazy to say, I like the hotel plots. They're awesome. It's cool. You know, like, it's nice, you know? And even then, I didn't, like, listen, I like the overlords, though. Like, you already see, I don't know what her name is, but that dinosaur lady, listen. Anyway, yeah. There were more interesting things happening in episode 3. As much as I don't like it, at least it was entertaining. This just made me mad. Vaggie's plotline's boring because it's stupid, it makes no sense, and... Hey this is Editing Sam, like a full month or two later. I do want to talk a little bit more about Maggie's plotline in this episode because I feel like I wasn't very clear on exactly why I didn't like her plotline. It's gonna be real short. I'm gonna keep it simple. Maggie's plotline sucks mostly because it rehashes things that we've known since episode 3, but just, kind of explains why she was able to do it. And the reason that it's dumb because, well, the idea is just stupid. Because like I said earlier in the episode, it being angelic steel doesn't make any logical sense, which means that there's no way that nobody's known this for the multiple times this has happened. And there's no way that, especially what happens in the next episode, as I stated before, they lose that fight, they bring no armor or anything like that, that they all just let this shit slide. It's really dumb. It annoys me. Literally, the Maggie's plotline makes every episode just seem pointless. It also, once again, like I said, it's rehashing episode 3, and episode 3 kind of did it better-ish, as bad as it is. But, yeah. Charlie's plotline is just fucking... made me want to throw, like, a right hook through my monitor. Like, straight up. I don't like Charlie. They're assassinating her character in her own show. It's dumb. It's dumb. And oh my god. But anyway. Yeah, it's dumb. But anyway, let's get on the last episode. I'm done talking about it. This is stupid. It's dumb. It's foolish.
Bow! Bow! Get your funky ass in that tub, bitch. God damn.
I can't believe we made it this far, huh? I didn't think we'd get past the first 4 episodes. I genuinely thought that wasn't going to happen. Because there was like an incident that happened with episode 3. After I got to editing it, I hated that episode a lot. And I just wanted to be done editing it. So I finished it. I was going to go start episode 4. And for some reason, DaVinci Resolve replaced my episode 3 script, voiceover, with episode 4's. And I didn't really know how to fix it until I found out that you could replace an audio clip with a different one. And it just kind of leaves it how it was cut and all that. It's very nice feature. I recommend investing in something like that. But anyway, let's get started with this episode, because I have a lot to say about it. A lot. But I want to start off by saying I predicted a scene in this episode, but that's for later. Anyway, blah 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 starts where the last left off, with the group preparing for this battle, and the entire time Vox is watching this whole thing, but I'm not going to bring this up because it's, not essential to the plot, really. But anyway, it's your typical scene of the fun night before the battle. Everyone's being cool and stuff. We also find out that Sir Pentious has 2 dicks, which Coffee found very intriguing to him. He's a freak.
Don't be gross.
Guys, I hear he's got 2 dicks.
Huh.
Charlie. I'm sorry. I'm just so scared.
Is that you, bro?
What if we lose?
What?
Is that you?
What?
Already done so much.
Is that you?
So many
What do you mean?
lives you've changed.
You know exactly what I mean.
So many souls you've
I mean, I'm tapping that.
Yo, what? He's not gonna watch this far. He probably not gonna watch this video. And then we get a small reprise of More Than Anything, which I don't care. Don't care. Moving on. But we get a short scene with the Exorcist also preparing as they fly through a portal, and then the war begins. And we get to that scene as I stated before. Yeah, no, they don't come in armor or anything like that. They just show up and lose the fight. Crazy. But then Adam breaks the shield that Alistair had over the entire, hotel. And he gets into a fight with Alistair, as stated. And I thought this would have been cinema. This would have been one of the top 10 anime fights of all time until Alistair gets absolutely, pissed on. It's crazy. Wouldn't have me looking like that, though. Crazy. But he's not dead, though. He's not dead. But then once Adam gets involved in the bigger fight, Sir Pentious, after kissing Cherry and admitting his love to her, he gets in his ship, planning on stopping this once and for all by shooting Adam with his epic death ray of doom and despair. And you might have noticed I said planned. Not he shot Adam with it. Because,
Eggs. Activate blasters.
Oh, he's cooked.
A death ray.
Yes, sir.
Oh!
That crazy motherfucker.
Target in range.
Fire.
What?
Yo! Yo! Bro got liquidated.
You did good, buddy.
I told you, bro. I knew it. He was getting shocked.
Almost instantly, the second Adam sees this blimp flying towards him, which L mode of transportation, by the way. Crazy. He gets vaporized. Like, straight up decimated. Which is, this is what I predicted. I knew Serpentor was gonna die. Well, didn't know. I predicted it. I kind of felt like he would be the character they kill off. Because you can't kill off the main cast. It would be too easy. But, here's my, big 30th plot hole of the show. If Adam could do this to this entire blimp, why doesn't he do this to everybody? Why doesn't he just vaporize the entire block? Yeah, I'm dumb. Yeah, this writing error must take a lot out of him, I guess. What do I know? But after this, Charlie and Vaggie turn the little goat guys into dragons and bring them to fight with Loot and Adam. Adam fights Charlie and Loot with Vaggie. Loot kills the dragon one and was winning, but she likes to run her mouth more than she runs ones and loses her arm. Sweeter core. But not to mention she would have died, but Vaggie says, "You're not worth killing, so take my mercy and eat it, pussy." And on the other side, Adam is absolutely running Charlie's fade. It's crazy. Terrible character and terrible fight. I mean, wasn't built for it, I guess. But Lucifer shows up and says he's gonna bend him over, pull down his pants, and fuck Adam. He does say that, by the way. You gotta watch the episode. I'm telling you. No, you gotta watch it. Yeah, you better take my word for it or watch it. I don't know what to tell you. But this how this is happening. Adam pisses me off more because once again he blows a hole into the earth itself, causing a straight up chasm to be unearthed. And I'm still trying to figure out why he doesn't vaporize the entire block. Let just be me. I'm moving like I'm Vaughn. Fucking hit him with the damn like satellite laser in that scene of Invincible. After all this, Charlie powers up to stop Adam from rocking both him and Alistair. Her and Alistair, not him. It's goofy off. But after Lucifer beats the shit out of Adam, they try to mercy him just like they did with Loot. But he goes on this tangent, going, "Ooh, you guys are all the same. You sinners! I won't let this slide. You'll face the wrath of me. Wait until I hit my ult, you fucks." And then Nifty stabs him to death. And that's where his character ends. Yep. And then all the exorcists leave, and now we're in the remains of the hotel. And we get this last song called Finale, and I think it's pretty good. Giving it a 9. It's like a Disney song. Not putting in my playlist though. I'm not 12. And they're just rebuilding the entire hotel. If we celebrate all this, mostly Alistair, quote unquote, being dead. But he's alive, as I stated. And at the end we get to see the new hotel, which is really nice. And then Sir Pench is in heaven. And then the show ends. And then hit him with the after credit scene. No, Sir Penches, after being fucking vaporized, got sent to the pearly gates. And this is something I have a big issue with, especially the next scene, which is Luke talking to Lilith, which is, Charlie's mother, who's been in heaven this entire time. Yeah, this is where I kind of draw issues with this episode and the entire show. Because imagine this gets dropped and there just wasn't a season 2. There was no way they were going to explain this. This is the equivalent to them stapling Ethan's hand back on after Resident Evil 7. Not one to say that he's made out of fucking mold. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's dumb. I don't care. But I have a lot of issues with Sir Prentice being in heaven, mostly because I guess that it makes sense with the whole, like I said back in episode, what was it, 6? That he should be up there because he was acting really nice and nonchalant in the last few episodes. But my biggest question is, how is he in heaven? Like, logically, how is he in heaven? If you die in hell, is there a chance you just get respawned back in hell if you're bad enough, and in heaven if you're, Sir Prentice? Like, it doesn't make sense. And the Lilith plotline, I have nothing to say about it. Like, she isn't even a character for real. Like, be so serious. But that's the show. That's all 8 episodes recapped, ranked, and squabbled with. I hope you all did enjoy. Anyway, let's get you these curse word statistics. Episode with the most curse words is episode 6 with 80. No wonder it's the worst episode. Actually, that's not the worst episode, right? 7. Maybe we're wrong. 80. 80 crazy. But with the least is episode 5 with a whopping 12. And the curse words across the entire show is 375 with an average of 2.13 per minute. But anyway, made it this far. Maybe we'll consider liking and subscribing. I have another video I want to toss up. It's not on this. It'll either be Callisto, or if I'm feeling like I want to cover it now, I will be covering Hell of a Boss. If I were to give this show an overall rating, I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. I thought I would hate this show a lot more than I would, but I genuinely feel like the last 4 episodes really drag down the show as a whole. It really does. Like, I am doing the outro in the episode 8 because it's able to be recapped within like 5 minutes. There's no good fights in it, by the way. I wish there was more like good fights, in my opinion. They don't need to be good fights in this show. It's not what it's made for, but it would have been awesome. Especially because I know a show that has them. I know shows that has them. And I'm going to go crazy with them. I'll say that. But, yeah. Would I recommend watching this show? No. Not really. It's not very good. I mean, like, let me say this. If you guys remember a long time ago, if you were in my stream, you would know this. People ask me about how I edit videos, how am I so motivated to do it, and what gets me through it. And I stated that you should watch something that's so bad that you're not going to fully pay attention to it, but it's also good so you stay invested in what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you sit there in your seat and you continue working on the thing, but you're not distracted by what you're watching. You know? This is that kind of show. But even then, I still wouldn't recommend it. It's just not that good. Maybe Season 2 will be better. Maybe there'll be better answers. But I have one small problem with Season 2. And that is, how are you going to answer these other plot lines with 8 episodes that are all 22 minutes long? And you're introducing a whole nother cast of characters. I guess we'll have to find out. But thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. I'm out of here. You all have a good night, day, evening, morning, whatever it is for you. Bye-bye.